on this episode of Slainte. We're over at the Link in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island to get the lowdown on Upstreet Brewing. We'll find out how this brewery has become a local legend, take a look behind the scenes in the brew house, and discover some of the bold styles and fresh flavors at this fabulous community brewery. Located in the bustling seaside city of Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, you'll find Upstreet Brewing. It seems that no one quite expects to find themselves owning a brewery, and yet here it stood, with scores of freshly kegged beer to sample on tap or take home in cans. To find out what prompted him to dive into the craft beer scene, I spoke to the co-founder, Hoagie.
I was actually originally working as a computer engineer about 10 years ago, and met up with a couple of friends who were, interested in starting a business. And I was a really avid home brewer. I had a setup in my backyard where I was making like 4 kegs of beer on tap at a time, and bringing growlers to parties and whatnot. And so kind of developed a reputation maybe for making decent beer. And yeah, like I said, we met up with a couple of friends through all that, and we started meeting once a week over beers, of course, and building out spreadsheets, and eventually we decided to take the plunge and open a brewery.
And how did you decide this location?
So it was really interesting trying to find a location. Charlottetown isn't a big spot, but we really wanted to have enough space. As you'll see when we kind of go out back, we need a lot of production space for tanks and warehousing and whatnot. But we also wanted to have a tap room and a community hub that people could come from the the nearby neighborhood and come down and have a beer and hang out. So to try to find a spot that could accommodate both those needs was really hard for sure.
Oh, I imagine. And why having a community hub? Why was that important to you?
Community is really at the heart of what we do, and refresh the community is sort of our mission statement. And so we really want to be that local hub for people to come and gather, and bring your dog to the patio and whatnot, or have comedy nights, have different community groups and stuff that come into the tap room, and so that's really important. Another thing is that we're the only B Corp company on Prince Edward Island. So if you're not familiar with B Corp, it stands for Benefit Corporation, and sort of in contrast to a traditional company where you're trying to make money for the shareholders, we're trying to provide value or benefit to like the stakeholders in the company. And so the stakeholders, they're the owners for sure, but it's also our staff, and it's the environment, and it's the community, and it's our suppliers that we buy from and whatnot. And so we try to keep all those things in balance, and try to do good for the planet and do good for our community, but also trying to have a business that that makes money too. So
Hoagie, I'm so curious, where does the name of the brewery come from?
Yeah, so Upstreet is it's sort of a PEI slang term, and it was really fun trying to find the name for the brewery and come up with different ideas. We wanted to have something that sounded somewhat professional, I guess we'll say, but also had some fun and a tie back to the PEI community. So you might say, okay, I'm going downtown to get a quart of milk or whatever, but there's in certain communities they'll kind of use Upstreet in the same way. So going up street to get some gas, or going up street to have a beer with the boys, or something like that. So, it's a kind of a fun name, yeah.
It is fun. I think it's so cute. I really like that. Can you tell me a bit about, so you started with home brewing,
Yeah.
but how did you even get interested in that in the first place?
Yeah, of course. Great question. So yeah, I went to university at Dalhousie in Halifax in 2003. I guess is sort of when I graduated. So 20 years ago. But yeah, my friends and I, we started home brewing honestly as a way just to make cheap beer. We were poor engineering students, and we could barely afford beer at the liquor store. So some of us started home brewing, and it wasn't very good at the time. It tasted awful, but we drank it. And, we had a lot of fun. But then I sort of started to get a little bit more interested in, okay, how do we make it from scratch? So kind of going from beyond the kits where you just add water to starting to make beer with grains or with actual hops. And so, eventually over the years, I just got more and more, I guess, from scratch kind of thing, and had made some of my own equipment, and one of my friends made this electric brew system. And so we had sort of had quite an advanced system, and being an engineer and stuff too, like, I was really interested in tinkering with that kind of thing as well. And so, I'll say, okay, sure, when I was home brewing, I was making decent beer, but, since we've opened Upstreet, I've had to relearn everything, obviously, on how to make it on a big scale and how to use the equipment and stuff here. So it's been quite a ride.
A huge learning curve indeed. To discover what it was about Upstreet Brewing that was so unique, I spoke with their Director of Sales and Marketing, Marsha.
I think I love working for a company that is really innovative, because I know that when you're in the industry, it has like booms and it also settles out a bit for different products. But what I really like about Upstreet is that we're really forward thinking. So we're always looking for the next big thing that's coming down the pipes. And I know in the Maritimes, we're usually a couple of years behind everybody else, but it's also really cool because we can sort of see what's going on in other places and then react to it on our own time. So a big thing that we've been doing is sort of looking beyond craft beer, which we love it so much. And craft beer really is our bread and butter, but some of the new products that we have coming out, like our Blueberry Mojito is a 10% craft cocktail, which is incredible. And then we have our Rewind Vodka Seltzers, Rewind Juiced, which is a 7% vodka seltzer. And then, of course, our Libra non-alcoholic craft beers. So we are really expanding to sort of fit our mandate, which is like refreshing the community. And we want to be able to refresh all of the community.
How did you find yourself here in the first place?
So I actually come from the arts. I was in marketing at an arts center, and I loved it there. I loved it so much. And I did say that the only place I would ever leave that job for was Upstreet. And a little over 5 years ago, a job for a marketing manager came up here, and I spent 13 hours on my cover letter and resume because I was like, this needs to be perfect because this is my job. And I got it. And so I made the switch, and I'm never leaving. I tell everybody that every day. I'm here for life.
You're here for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's just like the vibes are too good. Like it just feels really good when you come into work and everybody is just hyped up to be here, right? Like it's just everybody is here because they know that there's. What we're doing is we're trying to refresh the community. We're trying to do bigger things for our community. We're welcoming people in, and we're putting out products that, directly feed back to profits going out to the community. So we love that.
How important do you think that is for your community?
I think that there's a lot of craft beers out there, and I think our differentiation factor is that people do expect more of us. And it feels heavy sometimes, but at the same time, we've built that trust in our consumers that they will buy our products because they know that what we are doing really as a B Corp company, we're looking beyond just the bottom line. We're looking into like what are we doing that's going to be affecting our community, our environment, like our culture. So I think that when people buy Upstreet, they know that they're doing something just, maybe even just a little bit better, just supporting people that really, really do care.
Next up on Slainte, we get a closer look at what makes this space in beer so special. And I joined the brewmaster in the brew house for a taste of one of their most popular beer. Upstreet Brewing can be found among the friendly, bustling streets of Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. With a gorgeous selection of locally crafted beverages and a mouth-watering food menu, I was eager to find out more. To do this, I spoke with the general manager, Jazz.
The taproom opened in 2015, so we're almost 8 years old now. And I think it's just a really special, wonderful space. There's a lot of sort of history and stories kind of baked into this space that I think make the experience of being here just really unique and really special.
Can you give me an example of one of these stories?
Absolutely. So the mural on the wall behind you there is actually created by a local maker called Birdmouse, who does pieces made with reclaimed wood. A lot of the tables in the taproom were created from wood that was salvaged from a barn that blew down in Surrey by the founders of the business, and they built those tables together. So.
No way, that is so cool. I was gonna say it's the most beautiful wood. Like, I love the kind of rustic feel to this place. Is that how you would describe it?
Definitely. Yeah. It's kind of a nice juxtaposition of like it's these vaulted ceilings and exposed metal, but then it's also very homey with these like wood tones and just beautiful textures and.
Oh, it's just wonderful. And I couldn't help but notice you have this beautiful outdoor patio.
Yes, the patio is our new crown jewel. I believe that we've had it just over 2 years now. And prior to that, the patio that we had was literally a little pit of gravel with some picnic tables in it. So this has been a great addition. And we have 60 plus seats available outside. And the patio is dog friendly as well. So people come and bring their pups and are able to have a pint and a bite to eat on the patio with their dogs, which is so fun.
Yeah, I was like, what more could you ask for?
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely perfect. What do you hope that customers can experience when they come and visit your place?
I want them to feel welcome and comfortable. I think the best part of what we do is make people smile. We love to create experiences for people that go above and beyond. So, we have customers come in and, if they've been having a really bad day, they know that the person behind the bar is going to stop and take a minute and chat with them. We run a mug club program here. So on the wall, sort of beside me here, are about 100 mugs made by a local island potter. And all of those mugs belong to a specific individual that they have to enjoy when they come in here. So we do give away a membership every year as a Christmas gift, just to somebody that's a regular that you're like, why aren't you in on this? So it's always a really nice way to get to make somebody's day.
Next, I headed into the warehouse for a look behind the scenes. To find out what made their products really stand out, I spoke with the operations manager, Joel.
Probably the diversity of products. We're trying to make sure that we are including everyone, not only just, beer geeks, but also anyone who maybe can't drink beer or can't drink alcohol. So we've got a vast line of products for everyone.
Do you have a favorite drink from Upstreet?
I would say my favorite would be the blueberry mojito and our fairly new Rewind Juiced. It's 7%, kind of juicy RTD. It's really tasty.
Yum. What is that line, Rewind? Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, in early 2020, we had created our first line of vodka seltzers. We tried to make them fairly low calorie, not too high in alcohol, so that, they'd be a nice summer refreshing drink. Since then, we came out with about 11 different flavors of our standard Rewind 100 calorie mix. And then more recently have come out with a 10% blueberry mojito, which is more of a cocktail, really great poured on ice with some mint and blueberries sprinkled on top. And then most recently, our Rewind Juiced line is a 7%, less focused on calories and more focused on lots of flavor.
Joel was certainly speaking my language. I then headed into the brew house to get a look at where all the magic happens. And what a brew house it was.
We're all like, everyone that works here is really into music, and so all the tanks are actually all different song references. So the brew house is all named after references to the band. So we have like The Wait and The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down and Ophelia and all kinds of different other ones. But then we also have like Bruce Springsteen. We have My Morning Jacket, we have Joni Mitchell, we have all of our favorite bands, and so the original owners we named some of the tanks to begin with, and then after that every year we get some of the staff to come up with a name if we have a new tank or two coming in. So it gives people something that's kind of fun and a sense of proud. Well, I named that tank, when that's so cool.
What is in Little Martha?
Yeah, so Little Martha, so this is one of our bright tanks. So this is sort of after the beer is done fermenting and it's ready to be carbonated, just before it goes into the cans or kegs, then it goes into one of these bright tanks for a couple days. So, I mean, Commons is so popular, I'm pretty sure if you looked at the floor plan, there'd be 3 or 4 tanks that always have Commons in it. So it just happens to also be in Martha, and it's ready to drink, and it's fully carbonated. You're not going to get any fresher. Beer is fresh in the can or in the keg, but when it's in the tank and it hasn't like been exposed to the outside air or anything yet, it's not really going to get any better than that.
Wow. Okay, so in here is Common Pilsner?
Commons Pilsner.
Commons Pilsner.
Yeah, there's about 3,300 liters in the tank right now.
Oh my gosh. And how much of that are we going to drink?
As much as you can right now.
Just a glass, maybe.
We'll just do a little splash in the glass. Yeah.
I'm so excited to try it. How's my tilting the glass technique?
That's great. Yeah. You keep it tilted. Okay, that's probably enough.
So this is completely ready to go.
Yeah, this is ready to go. This got transferred into the tank on Friday, and as soon as we wrap up here, I think it's gonna go into the cans.
So literally, like this is the most freshest that it could ever taste, and I get to sample it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I feel like a celebrity. Thank you. I'm just so excited to try it.
Great. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my goodness.
So super cold. It's at -1.
This is such a flavorful Pilsner too. Like, it really packs a punch for what it is, which is what I really like about it.
Yeah, for sure. There's lots of different layers to it. It's easy drinking, but it also has some really complex flavors going on.
Like some honey notes, and this would just pair perfectly on a summer day.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so. Oh my gosh, Hoagie, thank you so much. I love getting this like behind the scenes look at your brew house.
Next up on Slainte, we haven't tried nothing yet. I sit down for a full tasting of some of the best products available at Upstreet Brewing. The pulse is vibrant and the atmosphere inviting at Upstreet Brewing in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, where this well-run business is taking the craft brewing scene by storm. After getting to know the talented team behind the brand, I couldn't wait to sit down and try some of the beer I'd been hearing so much about.
Yeah, so let's start off with the Commons Pilsner. So yeah, it's a Czech-style Pilsner. It uses Zaz hops that come from the Czech Republic. So this was one of the original beers that I was homebrewing, and I actually went to the Czech Republic to Pilsen, where Pilsner comes from, and was inspired by the caves and the wooden vats and everything that they had aging the beer in, and then I wanted to kind of try to recreate my version of that when we opened the brewery. So it's the kind of beer that if someone asks, okay, what's your regular beer, or what's a Budweiser or a light lager kind of thing. So we'll give them this, and I think they'll find that it is, a light beer, but it has way more flavor going on than some of those domestic lagers for sure. So cheers.
Cheers. I'm so excited to try. Ooh.
So yeah, it's a little bit floral, a little bit of honey flavor from the malt and stuff. So it's a light beer, but there's a lot going on with it too at the same time.
Honestly, Hoagie, this might be the most flavorful Pilsner I've ever had, which is lovely. Like, I understand people like that kind of clear taste, and it's there, but
there's more in it. Like there's something like a malty kind of a sweetness to it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of honey and yeah.
Yes, exactly. This could be like, if people didn't really like craft beer, I feel like this would be a really good gateway.
Yeah, no,
beer.
exactly. And it's still like our most popular selling beer, but by volume, and we sell it in all kinds of different formats. If it's pints or in tall cans or 6-packs, 12-packs, and so however people want to get it, they can get their hands on it.
And they should get any way that you can. You gotta try that because it's just so light, it's so inviting, and I think honestly, like anybody would like that. It's just so accessible.
Awesome, yeah, thanks so much.
A treat, thank you. So the next one you said is your favorite.
Yeah, so this is my favorite. So I love IPAs. I love the flavors of hops, like a little bit of bitterness, the nice like citrus flavors, tropical kind of flavors, and so yeah, this is our third place double IPA, and so it's 8.5%, and third place is it's sort of an architecture term, I guess, or like a economics or social term where your first place is home, your second place is work, and then your third place is where you spend your time to kind of get away from those other two things. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited to try it. Wow. Oh my gosh, even just from smelling it, I smell the citrus.
Yeah, the citrus, and you get that, those kind of, tropical passion fruit kind of juicy aromas and whatnot, yeah. Doesn't taste like 8.5%. It goes down kind of like a juice or something. Yeah.
I was like, thank you for telling me that it's 8.5 because I never would have noticed. Like, I don't taste the alcohol at all, and it's such a smooth IPA. Like, it just kind of goes right back, which is also dangerous.
Yeah, I would say that's something with all of our IPAs is that we kind of go on the lower end of the bitterness with all of our beers, just to make them a little bit more smooth and easy to drink.
The next one I'm going to assume is not a beer.
No, so the next one is a seltzer, and so we started making seltzers in 2020, and so there's sort of a blend of vodka and different fruit juices and natural flavors, and so this one is our raspberry lemon, and it's by far our most popular flavor of seltzer. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
The raspberry on that is incredible.
Yeah, so it's sort of a little bit of like a jam, raspberry lemon jam kind of a flavor, nice and tart and refreshing.
I'm like, that's bad. This is delicious. I'm sorry. I'm just like, there's so much going on in my mouth because it's like there's such a punch of raspberry and then there's like a hint of lemon. Yeah. But it's like my brain is kind of like, oh, this is just juice. You can drink the whole thing, and then I'm like, no, it's alcohol.
No, exactly. But it's 5% and
so
very
light.
clean tasting.
The very next one, I have to say, has the most beautiful color.
Yeah.
Hoagie, what is this one?
So this one is our blueberry mojito cocktail, and we released this back in November, I guess, just a little bit before the holiday season. And it was sort of our we've been doing the rewind. The seltzers, they're very light, very low calorie, low carb, and this was something that people have been asking for. Was something with a little higher alcohol, higher sugar. Again, hard to tell that it's 10%, but very drinkable too.
It's so drinkable. I kind of like that it's a little viscous too. Like, it's kind of a thicker, it's kind of like a real cocktail.
No, that's the idea. Yeah. It's really like a blended cocktail. We worked with a local cocktail maker to sort of kind of initiate the concept and the recipe.
This Libra, I've heard so much about it, and like around the Maritimes even, I know it's really taken off, and I've never actually tried it, so I'm so excited to.
Oh, great, yeah. So we actually make 5 different flavors. So we have a pale ale, an IPA, a cherry sour, a pilsner, and a stout, and then a few other seasonals. But the pale ale that we're gonna try, that was our original flavor and the most popular flavor. So, Libras are available in all of the Sobeys locations and Superstore locations as well. We're at the LCBO in Ontario, and we're just continuing to grow it all the way across the country. So it's pretty cool. There's not a lot of craft breweries that are selling product in every province in the country. There's very few really. So it's pretty special that we made it there.
Smelling it, it smells exactly like a pale ale. Like I smell hops already.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's got, you know, it's filling in the gaps of without the alcohol, trying to give, you know, use some really flavorful malts and hops to kind of fill in that experience.
And it like, I taste it like it's like all around my mouth too. Like I love the mouthfeel of it.
Yeah,
it's
great,
just,
yeah.
It's still so flavorful. It really packs a punch still.
Yeah.
And it's nice knowing too that it's like, I want to drink like 7 of these and I can.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than kicking back with friends and sharing a cool pint at the end of a long day. And at Upstreet Brewing in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, everyone is sure to feel right at home. The space is bright and inviting, the company is warm, and the beer is always cold. Rows of fresh, delicious, handcrafted brews and ready-to-drink beverages are just waiting to be sipped and savored. So grab a friend and head on over to this community brew house that's all heart.